Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this Liam and No Joe show. He is currently in the sky, flying to America land.
Oh, how I wish I were flying to America land right now.
Do you?
Well, I don't know.
He's off to do his crazy World Championships thing. I got a lovely message from him this morning with a little picture of him on the plane. It's the first time I think I've ever seen him smile, saying that he's on the plane. He was really chuffed and happy and amazed. So, that's you lot as well that helped do that, especially from that AGS fundraiser weekend. And the random dude who donated £1,000 for him for spending money. So he's off to America, hotel, flight paid for, spending money paid for. He's going to go in and enjoy himself. So we have no Joe for the next 10 days-ish. He's not back on the show until a week on Thursday. So trying to figure out what we're going to do for content, I have a new person.
Hello.
The model's naked as well. I didn't realize the model was naked. I have a new person, and we get to say welcome to our brand new general manager of Hobby House, who started last week on Monday and is possibly already regretting this decision.
Pass.
This man, you also, if you've kept an eye on things like Instagram, you may know him from Warhammer. It's called.
That's correct. Yeah.
On Instagram and Twitch, I want to say.
I do a bit of Twitch, not so much now because I've been quite busy.
Yeah. So Toby is going to be a face you'll see quite a lot around here, and you'll probably see him on games and stuff, and you'll obviously see him downstairs in the Hobby House. So with the project, I talked to you a little bit last night about the project, right? With the project as it started moving along and it's got a bit chaos. There was a possibility to start with it was going to be just me, and I looked at the workload and was like, this is probably not going to be conceivable for me to do this on my own. And so this young gentleman approached me and said, please I want to help.
I mean, that's probably fair.
So Toby approached and was like, hey, look, I'm actually quite interested in the project. So we had a chat. I looked at his credentials, I suppose. We interviewed him, and he started on Monday. You've told the Thanes right so far, but I think this is the first time this has become like proper public knowledge.
Common to the rest of the community.
Yeah,
shall we say. Yeah. I kept it under wraps, mainly because I didn't know when to say anything else. Otherwise, I thought, you know what? There's no better way, surely, than arriving in Mecca and saying hello to everybody.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So this is our introduction stream, right? So chat, this is things where you can say welcome, you can ask questions. We're going to talk a little bit it's like a live saga almost. We'll talk about a little about Toby's hobby background, what he's done, what qualifies him to run Hobby House, etc.
That might be a problem.
It's a bit late for that to be a problem.
I know.
And if you guys stick questions in chat, I will try and grab them. I've obviously got the iPad in front of me. I'll grab Super Chat specifically as well. I've seen already Carl say, why does Liam keep hiring people prettier than him? If I didn't hire people prettier than me, Carl, I wouldn't be able to hire anyone at all. So that's how that works.
That's really sad. Like there's some truth in there.
Now I'm going to warn you all as well, by the way, that I'm not very well. I don't know why. I think it might be a touch of exhaustion. I have had a damn good throw up before the stream, so I feel like I'm all right now.
Yeah, I haven't had to clean that. So
I've cleaned it.
Chunder to toilet cleaning ratio of general manager is 0.
Currently, there's no Chunder cleanup required, but I'm not feeling great. So, anyway, like I said, I always talk about the Hobby House project quite a lot on streams. And Toby's approach is like, hey, I'm kind of interested. But this isn't the first job you've done in the hobby. Do you want to where do you want to start about your kind of background and history? I don't know how much
I don't even know because there's so much. So I have a history in retail, hospitality, and entertainment. So I won't go too much into the entertainment side of things. I was in a band. The band did very well for a period of about 13 years. So I'm no stranger to kind of like being front on with people. I've always been really good at pretending I like people, which I do like people.
Yeah, me too.
And it's, I've had 2 real big passions in my life. One was music and one was like miniature wargaming, primarily like Warhammer, 40k, Old World when I was younger. And eventually it got to the point where the band days, when you're getting past 35 and you're still sleeping on the floor of a Ford Transit in the middle of the Czech Republic, it's the back don't love it, if I'm honest with you. But I class myself as a very fortunate individual because I had a bucket list of things from when I was a kid that I wanted to do, and like to have ticked off like a 90% of that particular aspect of life, I think is like, I'm very, very like grateful for that. So my other big passion has always been miniature wargaming. Been in and out of the hobby like most of us probably have, saw a Warhammer magazine, like I think it was like a third or fourth edition Space Marine Codex at like secondary school when I was like 13, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then went home and made my mum and dad spend all their money on it. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, video games and girls.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then been in and out of it.
Some people in the audience don't know what that second part is, girls. They know video games, they don't really know girls.
I mean, you know, you got ChatGPT now, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's a dangerous rabbit hole, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, as I say, like, even in my band days, I've had the most interaction with what I would class as famous musicians, normally over the fact that I've had a hobby box working on a commission or some of my own stuff to paint in the green room, which has always been an interesting conversation, because some people will be like, oh my God, is that Warhammer? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And other people are like, is that Warhammer? And I'm like, please don't look at me. I feel great amounts of shame. And it's kind of, you get in between as well. But, you know, this is like Hobby House being in Southampton. I've lived in Southampton my whole life. You know, all 37 years of my existence have been around this town. And we've not had a gaming centre or any sort of big independent, you know. So when I saw, obviously being someone who's followed Liam for a long time, that this was something that was happening, I was like, I didn't realise Liam lived in Southampton. I'm going to take my shot and roll the dice and just send him a message on Instagram. And then from there, fast forward 3 odd months, and now I'm sat in the chair. I'm not Joe. I saw that someone said I'm not Joe from Wish, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. I cleaned the chair before you sat in it as well, so it didn't squelch.
That would explain why I'm not sticking to it and it doesn't smell of burger cheese.
Or slipping straight off.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Poor Joe.
Yeah. He's so happy this morning. It was so good to see him so
Wouldn't
happy.
You be happy if you could take a lot of money to get duty-free company heroes, Liam?
Well, fair, yeah. I don't know if the Americans get company heroes cheaper, though, do they?
Probably not, but the airport might. Imagine if there was a Warhammer.
All he really wants is event-exclusive objective markers. That's what he keeps talking about.
I mean, if that is the biggest problem you have in life, you've made it.
I dread to think what he's going to be spending his spending money on, but hey. So your hobby. So you've obviously done some. You've said you've done some commission work before, but you've also worked in GW.
Yeah, that's right. So I worked in GW Pool on and off for about 3.5, 4 years as like their primary like cover responder, and I also did a little bit in Bournemouth. But I always really liked it. Like, I'm really good friends with the manager of the pool store. Like, I've known him a long time. He's one of the people that actually taught me about the hobby when I was younger. And I got to do quite a lot of fun things there. Like, I did and designed and built quite a few of their like window displays, which is something I'm really keen to kind of like then take to the tabletop for Hobby House, so that we can have some really, you know, like when you go and see like the White Dwarf battle reports of old, you look at the tables, you'd be like, I wish I could put my models on that table and play that game. I think that's something we're very keen to give people that experience, because I mean, I'm a big narrative gamer, so like you'll see, you know, if Liam survives his Chundersaurus Rex up here when we get to play this evening, I'm not very good at the game.
I'm going to be honest with you, tonight's game is at risk right now.
I mean, and that means my losing streak on stream is postponed.
Well, we'll just do it next Tuesday.
Well, there you go.
But I'm currently not.
He's on the edge. I think it's the fear of actually having to face Iron Hands.
I sat up here in the chair for 20 minutes before the stream today, and I almost went downstairs and said to you, I'm going home. I was that close.
I know Iron Hands was a trouble for you, but like, that's taking it quite
honestly,
quite
I was that close.
Well, hopefully you're going to survive.
We'll see.
But either way, so I've lost my train of thought. But yes, I've worked with GW, you know, and I always really enjoyed, say, people interaction. So whether that's been like kind of just talking to people about their hobby, what they're doing, like what they're working on, or advising on like painting tips and things like that. I wouldn't class myself as like a great painter, but what I am good at is finishing projects, and I think that's something a lot of people in the hobby struggle with, and knowing when to kind of look at something and go, do you know what, I'm actually happy with where that's at, because the satisfaction I get from my personal hobby is looking at like 2,000 points on the table and going, I've actually finished it. And that's something I think a lot of people struggle with. So if I can help in my role here to get people to actually have paint on their minis and be like, you know what, I'm going to be better than I was at painting than when I started this project, because I put hours into painting and I've actually got something to finish now. It's done. Ready to play. You can roll some dice.
So good GW experience.
Yes.
And then what we're also doing is, I'm sure you guys have probably seen on the behind the scenes video and what I've talked about, is we're building a nice decent bar space. We want to be able to serve you guys decent coffees and stuff like that. And that kind of, you moved into then hospitality post GW,
yeah, so
right?
when I was, so my first ever jobs were like sort of like washing up in restaurants and things like that. From that, my sort of adult lifetime of working has either been working in the music industry, whether that's been in the band or writing music for other people. I've done a lot of ghostwriting and things like that. Did a bit of retail with GW, but I've also spent a long time in hospitality. So I've run hotels, I've run restaurants, I've run bars. And I think that is easy on the outlook, but it's actually quite difficult to kind of make sure you're getting that right, that people know how to look after customers properly. And for me, my role in management, especially within hospitality, has always been make sure your customer has the best time and the best experience. And I think that marries quite well with what we're trying to build with Hobby House, because I want you to come into Hobby House and feel like you've had the best time ever. You could have been to Warhammer World, you could have been to various other independents, but I want you to think this is your hobby home, pun intended, because I want you to walk in and feel like, it's approachable. You're not being hassled to buy stuff. It's just a good environment with good people who know how to make a nice coffee or a milkshake. Because who doesn't love milkshakes? Even if you're lactose intolerant, you're not telling me you don't like milkshakes.
I can't really think about milkshakes right now.
I wouldn't think about milkshakes right now. I don't want to have to hold the stream where you go Chundosaurus Rex again.
Yeah, you might end up being solo for a few moments.
Oh,
you never
Jesus, here we go.
Customers, those customers are knobheads though. They are, yeah. But you are.
I'm never going to say that.
But you are knobheads, Carl. Are knobheads.
That's it, And the customer's always right until they're not, right? That's the best saying.
Yeah, so Tobe started this Monday, and I think at the point in which we started last week, you perhaps finally saw the enormity of the time. In fact, we sat down, didn't we? And
in these chairs, in this position, Monday last week,
and spent some time writing down everything we're going to need to do ready for opening, and then sat back a little bit and went, oh shit. That's quite a lot.
I mean, I had done my groundwork, so I knew obviously we're building a business in this building that's never existed. So there hasn't been a Hobby House in a shed somewhere in your grand's garden. This is the first time Hobby House has existed. It's a premium space offering a premium service for, a premium lifestyle choice. Warhammer isn't cheap, is it? Let's be real. So to make sure all of that is right from the get-go is a task that I can't even put into words, really. But I feel like we work quite well together. I think that was established quite quickly. And I actually think we've made quite a lot of headway in the time that we've already kind of been working on it. And it's very exciting. And I think the drive of seeing progress helps to drive the next stage of the build. And then the obvious organization of the monolith that is Shelfgate.
It's not just Shelfgate though, is it?
It's every gate. Door gate, floor gate,
fucking aircon gate.
Yeah.
Fucking paint gate. It's everything is currently kicking me in the balls.
And I've had money, please.
Yeah, I've had a week and a half of people kicking me in the balls and taking my money.
I mean, I don't think yet a single contractor has come in and you've gone, oh, it's under budget. Oh,
no,
it's not even on budget.
Yeah. And I've not just gone I've been educated.
Yeah,
guesses.
Exactly. It's just everything's like, oh, this is what you want. Yeah, that sounds great. How much did you think it was? 3. It's 5. And you're like, okay, that's okay. And then but that's also was 3 and is now 5, and then it starts to build up, isn't it? So, so get your super chats in, everybody, because I need a job.
It's a bit mad at the moment. It's fun. It is interesting. It's fun and enjoyable. But I mean, I think for the most part, one of the things I got from our conversation is the passion I have for what I want people to experience here. I think very much aligns with what you want people to experience when they come to a place like this as well. So one of the reasons why Toby was successful ultimately is because the vision I've got for how this place is run, how your experience goes from the moment you turn up to playing on the tables, to sitting and chilling out, having a coffee, to doing some painting, to buying some products, to leaving. My vision for that kind of experience you guys have is very much echoed by Toby. And what you were talking about and how you think people should, how people's experiences should go whilst they're here.
Well, I mean, fundamentally, right, no one is going to be a stranger to the fact that you can go on quite a few different websites to buy your product, right? There is many places offering a decent discount with a decent service. So it's what makes Hobby House stand out in the crowd, not just for the people who obviously support Liam and Joe and the channel anyway, but it's for the broader demographic as well, because, as much as it's incredible that we already have this community that are going to support this, we need to go wider in order for the business to be as successful as we want it to be, because I'd like there to be 2 years from now a Hobby House in Birmingham or Newcastle. So there's more gaming centres offering this same sort of premium experience local to as many of you as possible. But, in order for that for you to go online and go, I'm going to buy from Hobby House, even though I've been buying from X, Y, or Z for X amount of years, it has to be the experience, and you have to have faith in the product. And I think a lot of that comes from the people that are pushing the product to you. So if you feel like, you're understood at Hobby House, you can get some good painting tips, no one's going to come over and be like, buy this product, please, 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 please. It's not like that. That doesn't give you the environment you want to be in. It's just going to be like coming in, having a good conversation with some fellow people who like war games, can make you a nice cup of coffee. And you feel like if you want to come into Hobby House and you just want to paint on the hobby bar or something like that, or you're looking for someone to play with but you don't know people in your area, we will help connect you and things like that. And I think those sort of connections and helping to build a community around the store will then mean that there's loyalty in order to like purchase your product from us.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like I keep using this word frequently across streams about premium, and I to some extent I think I've used it so much it may have lost some of the meaning for it. But we've talked about like Apple Store meets hobby shop, right? So I don't want it to be sterile,
no,
but I want it to be clean, warm, comfortable, welcoming, easy. We went to the Apple Store the other day. We went to the Apple Store because I needed a new charger for my laptop, and I love that experience. Walk in, find charger, scan on phone, pay, walk out. I love that experience. If I can end up bringing that in the future, amazing.
I mean, you are doing me immediately out of a job.
Yeah, well, I can't do that.
The robots are coming.
I can't make a fucking coffee on the phone, so you're all right.
No, but the robots can. You know, God-fearing robot overlords.
I drive 40 minutes. I drive 40 minutes or an hour and a half to go to gaming spaces here. I don't go all the time, but it's worth it for the variety, atmosphere, etc. Hobby House website. Hobby House will have a website, yes, but buy this product also, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. But my point is, when I talk about the Apple Store, right? What I mean by that is, it's the Apple Store is for me as a consumer. I've got to go to the Apple Store.
No,
Do you know what I mean? You go in there. They've got 8 million staff. Someone's always ready to help you. Everything's in stock. The processes are always nice and smooth. The processes are always hassle-free. Everything's quite easy. They remove as many barriers as they can for you to buy a product. And they remove as many barriers as they can for you to understand a product.
Yeah.
And I think that although it's slightly different when you're talking about a MacBook or a phone or whatever, the principle's kind of the same. How can we remove those barriers to you understanding Kill Team? How can we remove those barriers to you understanding how to get an army battle ready? How can we remove those barriers for learning a whole new system? Like those sorts of things is one of those things I want to focus on. So I want to make sure that when people turn up and they go, I just can't seem to ever get to a point where I've got a painted squad. Well, hang on, here's some cool hints and tips that will speed up your process or whatever. Or people go, I'm really interested in Blood Bowl, but what the fuck do I do? I'd love to be in a place where someone goes, no worries, I'll help you.
Yeah,
here's a demo. You know, that's the kind of thing. And then at the same time, I am very keen on but you've also are able to sit down and do this with a very nice, you know, artisanal coffee and there's snacks that you can buy. And actually, the place is so nice and comfortable that you don't really want to leave.
No, that's it. And, you know, like, it's not just walk in, there is your shelves for your product, and here are some tables. And if you're not doing either, you're kind of just like, well, I guess I'm just existing in a corridor space. You know, it's designed to be a hobby day out. You know, there is going to be, you know, depending on what events are going on, but if you came in the weekday, there's the hobby bar. You can go and use one of our hobby lights and you can paint and you can get tips. You can then grab a coffee, grab a drink, grab something to eat. There'll be a social area, and then there's going to be the retail space as well. So there's ample amounts. It's a hobby for the whole family.
What Eddie says is what people want is for someone to sprint up to them the second they enter the shop and relentlessly ask what they're working on. And they, you know, I've been to Games Workshops. Okay, so the actual company shop. Yep. And I've been to I go into Southampton Games Workshop frequently. Rod, who's the manager there, I think is now the longest serving.
He's the longest serving general manager in the company by some 20 odd years.
Yeah, so Rod is wonderful. I walk into that Games Workshop in Southampton. They say hello. They're pretty chill. They're really good. And I feel like if I need any help, they're literally there. And if I don't need any help, they'll just let me get on with it. I've been to another Games Workshop. I'm not going to mention the name or place because I don't want to. I don't 100%. Want to dirty someone's name. And I've seen them. I've been in a place where I've walked in and I've been jumped on immediately. What are you working on? What are you working on? Oh, I want to work on Project X. I'm like, cool. Here's this biggest box we sell. Buy that. I'm like,
it's just not a good experience, is it?
I don't need that. And I've seen them upsell to parents and grandparents who are going, oh, hang on. I thought I was spending £20 and suddenly I'm holding a £100 box set.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very negative experience for people. So,
and it's a lasting experience.
It is a lasting experience.
Especially like for so like one of my things when I was with GWs, I do a lot of like most one-man GW stores are 5 days a week. So obviously it's one person, so they have to close 2 days a week in order for someone to get time off. So over Christmas times, your one-man stores will normally open 7 days. So in order to run the shop, they have their relief cover staff as work. So I would normally work Christmases. And the worst thing you could do is when like a granny comes in and is like, oh, Timmy collects the blue ones. And you're like, okay, cool. Well, have you seen this £100 box. They don't, they come in like, oh, I've only got £20 to spend. Or that was my budget. If you tell that woman, oh no, you don't want to buy this servo turret. I mean, you do want to buy a servo turret. Let's be real. But for your £22.50, whatever it is, you're then immediately pushing them onto like a £60, like repulsor executioner. That woman is not coming back to your shop again. And she's not going to bring Timmy with her next time she's in the high street because she felt like she had a pressured experience. Like, I think, you should be greeted with a smile and what's up? How you doing? Yeah, cool. You need anything? Find me, one of my colleagues. We're here to help. You need anything? You know where we at. That's enough. Because a lot of people in this hobby, some people are extrovert, some people are introvert. Some people want to come in, they want to beeline for their box, they want to grab it, they want to pay, and they want to be out. There's nothing wrong with that. They should be allowed to have their shopping experience, just like that person who goes, I want to talk to you about the Horus Heresy for 45 minutes. Now, if I've got 45 minutes and it doesn't impact my job, I will sit and talk heresy for 45 minutes, and that's just how you judge and manage people. But, it should feel like it's a space for everybody. And I don't feel like really there is anything positive from being like, have you seen the Ultimate Starter Edition? You're going to see it now as I grab one off the shelf and put it in your face 2 minutes after you've walked into the shop. I don't think that ever really...
It's things like, oh, you're buying a single box of intercessors. Well, have you thought about buying this combat patrol, which is 3 times the price? Because you get all this extra stuff, but they only wanted intercessors.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen people that have gone in for a box. They've been pressured to buy a bigger box. They've ended up putting everything down and walking out. Yeah. And I fair play. I think, fine, off you go, because that's not how it should work. So I think that if you want to buy a box of intercessors, buy your box of intercessors.
So what you bring up there's a really interesting point, because there is situations where, like you're the one you've just discussed, where I've come in for some intercessors, cool, buy a combat patrol. No, that's a bad sell. If someone, I've seen it from my experience in GW, someone came in back with the old Dark Angels combat patrol, booked a box of intercessors and a dreadnought and like a chaplain or something, and I'm like, you can actually make a saving by buying this box because it's actually got everything in the same box. And they're like, thank you very much. It's a really, really good example is when, in the current edition, the Space Marine Combat Patrol that launched with 10th was basically the half of Leviathan. It was basically the same as the starter box. Now, that was £95 the retail at the time. Now, for the price of the Ultimate Starter set, which is about £110 at the time, you got everything that was in that Combat Patrol and the whole Tyranid side of it and all the rules. That is a good piece of information to give someone, not necessarily to push the sale, but to just so inform them so they know they can actually buy this in a slightly better way.
Guy says, I don't know, there's a lot of grandmas with dementia out there. I reckon if you can fleece them, and even if it was a bad experience, they won't remember it.
All right then, right, scrap that. We're fleecing grannies, hobby house.
Fleecing people with
the grandmas.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm here for it. Right, like I said, guys, if you've got comments or questions for Toby, stick it in the chat. You can ask him about anything previous. You can ask him about things he wants to do in Hobby House. He's going to be our general manager, right? So what I should probably do, in essence, is tell you what that means. So I obviously am a director of the company. I have another director of the company that sits alongside me, and we have a couple of extra shareholders as well. And in terms of company business strategy, that sits with us, obviously, for the wider company. In terms of big decisions, budget, that sits with us as well. However, I also have to continue to run this channel. The other director also has another job to do at the same time, and our directors are they're pretty successful, impressive individuals. They've got their own lives to do at the same time. So we are all very, very passionate about this project, but we all realise that not a single one of us can devote 100% of our time to Hobby House.
I can,
which is where Toby comes in, right? Which is where a general manager comes in. So even me, I'm devoting a significant amount of time to Hobby House. I was in this morning at 10 to 8. And if I stay for the game tonight, I'm actually feeling slightly better as we sit here.
I can't wait to get smashed.
If I stay for the game tonight, I'll be leaving at 11, half 11. I will put time into this place, but I still cannot. We're sat here now doing this on YouTube. I cannot devote 100% of my time to it. So we decided that it would be within our best interests to find an individual who literally could spend 100% of their time devoted to the business. But what we also wanted was a person who would sit within the company at a reasonable level. That, like, I could find a shop assistant that can spend 100% of their time dedicated to Hobby House, but they're not going to be putting things in place.
How many grannies are they fleecing?
Well, all the grannies. But what I'm saying is like by bringing a manager in at this point, Toby's already got stuff that he's worked on and things that he's organised for me, and then I just have to pull the pin and pay the money. And that's just another thing I don't have to think about, or the team doesn't have to think about. So that's already helpful in the build. And we brought Toby in early as well because we have to set up processes, and we have to set up procedures, and we have to set up how it works when someone orders online and how that ends up in being a dispatched order from site that you then get, and it's a nice experience opening a nice box and you've got everything that you actually ordered and everything's correct and everything's in good order. We also have to know how things are going to work downstairs for providing you with your drinks and snacks, or for making sure you can book tables and what have you. And I don't think it ever makes sense for me personally to build those processes and then, I've never done this, and then give to a person, be like, cool, you now have to run that process.
Yeah.
Because that person is doing it, so that person should have a hand in writing it and 100%. Setting it up.
And I've always been a firm believer that a problem shared is like a problem halved. Like, we have gone back and forth discussing and taping out various solutions for like tables, and now we're doing retail shelving. And by doing the research and then just having the conversation in the office and being like, what about this, what about that, we've come up with like solutions, and actually something I think is quite special, even in the sense, like, you know, I remember coming in just before I started and was like, I think we can put these PowerPoints in the tables. And then we've gone, well, actually, we can make that work. And that's something that's a nice experience for people, not to have cables running around, I need to charge my phone or whatever, being able to do that. And I think it all goes alongside, to use the premium word again, but like, my job in my role is if you leave Hobby House and you go, I'm going to tell my mates about it, we're going to come back and play a game again. And next time you're at home, you might go, oh, I do need to actually order some stuff. I'm going to go to Hobby House. Not because you've ordered online from us before, but if you've been in here and you've had a good experience, I want that to be like, that's why. That's what's going to click for me. And, you know, I think, I say, like, when we sat and had our first sort of coffee at a Starbucks, and Liam kind of told me exactly what they were trying to build, I was like, I can see that. And I've always been quite a driven individual. Like, I took my band from playing to a sound man and a dog in Wales. True story. We played to a sound man and a dog. And our bass player tripped over the stage and fell and broke his bass. Good story, that one. To like, and I'm not doing this to like inflate my ego or anything like that, but I've played like main stage at like some big music festivals. Like, that happened because I was driven. But if you're passionate about something and you can see the end goal with it, then you're going to give it everything you can. And like, for me, being someone who loves miniature wargaming, I love playing the game, I love the community around it, and I just love talking about plastic models. This is great. This is the home of that.
Yeah,
you know,
well, hopefully that's the plan. So that's why he's in early, but ultimately, once the place is up and running, Toby's going to be the manager, right? He's the guy who's going to probably be running the day-to-day for the most part, rotoring and what have you. He'll be a very regular and common face in the downstairs area. So when you guys come in and hang out and play, this is the face you'll probably see. And if there's problems and issues, this is probably going to be the man for the most part who's sorting it. Well, with me as well. I'm not going to be like, you have and I'm done. Thanks very much.
Yep. You've made me spend all that money on them fridges. Goodbye.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to jump into chat because a load of stuff's come through. Matt, I think's caps locks is broken, but he's also been a bit mental. So before I jump into everything else, Matt, you utter lunatic.
Have I got to do hopes?
No, but you can.
I mean, I just hope Matt O'Reilly has the best fucking year of his life.
This isn't even showing me all the fan funding, but I know for a fact that Matt has gifted 200 memberships already.
I mean, I mean, it's said every time, isn't it? But like, as someone who is regularly in chat watching the streams, like, you know, you're an MVP, Matt. You are one of the good sausages for sure.
It is a good sausage. He is, yeah. Matt, you're a legend. I can't see. I think Whitey55 gifted 5 right at the start. So thank you so much, White, as well. So we're on 205 members, which is mad good. Thank you. If we don't have any streams on Thursday, chat, because Luce and I are having our first date night in the year. So any extra members are also helpful to stop me from being nervous about being off on Thursday.
It makes me feel welcome, and you know, like if we don't hit good members today, I'm probably crying.
Yeah, I'll be thrown up.
It's already happened once.
So
you know, it wasn't the sitting and the crying in the corner this morning at how much money we were spending on carpet. It was, we're not going to hit the members.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He also has donated $150 in super chats, another lunatic. So he says, welcome. Hopefully you can tame the ever-changing but always lovely and kind Liam. Nice to say hello. I don't think I can be tamed, man.
I don't think he can be tamed, but what he can be is supported.
Yeah. He then says, now we need to look after Joe a little more. Who wouldn't love a Joe in your life? Joe is fucking looked after, man.
Yeah, from inside the curtain, don't worry about Joe. Joe's living good. Joe is living really good.
The more new people that come and hang out here, like Tom and like Toby, the more upset Joe gets because people go, hang on a minute, when I was watching the streams, all you did was complain about how hard and tough and terrible everything was. And now I've sat in here with you for a few days. Joe's all right. He gets looked after. He gets really fucking looked after.
I mean, I love Joe, and I've actually got to spend quite a bit of time with Joe. And it is, as you all probably know, a wonderful experience. But I ain't one to not say it. I'm going to call it as it is. He's eating steak daily. You know, for the hardships of, Liam said I couldn't have my 16th box of Company Heroes this week. You should see what's behind that wall.
I like it when the truth comes out. Like, it's my favourite there.
Joe's on the plane a single tear now.
Yeah.
I thought we were friends. Sorry,
Yeah,
Joe, I've got some more terrain in here for you to have a look at. So
yeah, he's well looked after, chat, don't you worry. But thank you, Matt, anyway, you're a legend. Star, thank you for the $2, who says, who's that Pokemon? No, who's that general manager? Well, you know.
It's me. So I don't have an evolution form yet.
He does have I said before Torhammer, Tour Hammer on Instagram. So you can go check him out on there.
Yeah, if you want to see if I actually can paint, you can see that there, and then hopefully this evening you'll see that I can't play.
And then we also now have Hobby House on Instagram and on Facebook. So you can search Hobby House UK at Hobby House UK on Instagram, and then it's just Hobby House on Facebook. You'll see the logo. So far we've posted nothing, but we will be posting things on there. In the future, there'll be lots of social media content going out. Both Toby and I are going to have control of both of those accounts. So
it's also like, if you can go and like it now, or even just give the share the page a share in your stories, just to kind of help build a little bit of like traffic behind the page, it'll be beneficial, because the way the algorithm works is like, if we already have X amount of followers when we start posting, it's going to start to kind of kick it into gear a little bit.
You can also ! Hobby House, and you can click a link where you can sign up to news. And sometime in the very, very near future, we're going to be starting using that mailing list to start pushing news out. That will start to contain things like potential soft opening dates, potential hard open dates. And what I mean by that is a gentle open to some people to test systems ultimately.
Yeah. Essentially, if it's going to get buggered up, you guys probably don't mind as much as the normal people. Normal people was probably not the right way to say that.
Well, no, but it's true. I've said this before, right? And it sounds awful, but when I say it, I mean it genuinely as something that's quite heartfelt.
Yeah.
When I test things and try things, we push out to say perhaps the Thanes first. They're just such incredible people who just want to see us succeed, which is the most humbling thing in the world.
Yeah, it's nice.
But it also means that when we try something, they're like, use us as guinea pigs.
Yep.
And if there's a problem, they're not the people that are going to go straight on Google and leave us a 1-star review.
Well, this is it. And, we are, and especially in the early days, it's a case of like, we want to make sure we get this right, because it's not like we are taking a system and amending it. We are literally building the process, building the systems, When we built all those shelves, we had to kind of go, right, this is how we're going to assign bays and where are we going to put that. And until the stock and the GW like truck arrives and we carry all that up the stairs and start laying it out, it's going to be a little bit of kind of like oiling the cogs to make sure it works properly, because we don't want anyone to have a bad experience, especially not their first experience. And that means we've got to get it right.
Yeah, 100%. Tank says, welcome, Toby. Thank you for the $2, man.
Thank you very much.
Sam says, thank you for the $5. He says, what's the manager discount code, Toby?
I don't have one yet. So, and if I did, your discount is going to be just in the form of me being really, really nice to you.
Yeah, the manager discount code. There'll be a staff discount, I reckon.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm just happy to be here, to be honest.
I don't know what that staff discount
If I didn't get the job, I'd have been buying my toys here anyway.
Can we do minus percentages for staff discount? Does that work?
What, so that they pay like 105% retail?
Yeah. A bit more.
Yeah, maybe that works.
I don't know. Jill, thank you for the $10. She says, dear new GM, why can't you deploy servo turrets in a Hammerfall bunker?
Because GW have got it fucking wrong. That's right. A Hammerfall bunker, I don't want to get into this now, but not having deep strike is an absolute fucking joke.
I was not sure why it didn't deep strike, but I was like, whatever. And then it literally deep strikes in space.
It was shitting on a plate and being like delicious, isn't it?
Yeah. The reason why most people can't deploy servo turrets in Hammerfall bunkers, Jules, is because no one takes them.
Servo turrets or Hammerfall bunkers.
True, yes. Absolutely. She then says, it says, what is your up favourite paint flavour? But I feel like the up word wasn't supposed to be in there.
What's my favourite paint flavour?
Yeah.
That would probably be Bright Warm Grey by Monument Hobbies. It's a paint I've used a lot recently. really, really quite good.
Bright warm grey.
Yeah.
There was people in the chat earlier taking the piss out of bright warm grey.
That's because so a bit of hobby. So this year I started my Warhammer page. I started in like January, and I've been painting Mechanicum for the Horus Heresy. Right, I've done about 10,000 points. Now the armor is bright warm grey, so I've used a lot of it. It became a bit of a running joke that I was painting tanks with a small airbrush and that one paint. So that's why that's a running joke. But that's why I have to say it all the time.
Okay. Pete, thank you, Jill, for the yellow one. By the way, you're a legend. Pete, thank you for the $2. He says, Toby, which armies do you have?
Oh, okay. So 40k wise, I currently have Wraith Host Eldar, I have Iron Hands, and I have Thousand Suns, and I've got a lot of other projects like I need to probably do, like Necrons, Admech, Tyranids. 30k is all about Iron Warriors and Mechanicum. And then in AOS, I've got Nighthaunt, Sylvaneth, Lumineth, Seraphon, Sylvaneth, if I said them, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Stormcast, Soulblight, quite a lot of AOS. I came back to the hobby with AOS 2nd edition.
So AOS is probably more your game than 40k?
I don't think I'd have my pants pulled down quite so badly at AOS than I would at 40k. But as I say, I've always been a narrative gamer, so like I like decent tables to play on. I don't like taking three captains because in my head, you're not deploying 3 captains when you're running like Space Marines. They're going to have one. So I just like the cool narrative. And unfortunately, the current edition of the 10th is like not really tailored to narrative being any good. And I also like servo turrets because I feel like someone has to.
They are a bit like Space Marine's Ginger Stepchild.
You know what? I wrote my list for the game, right? And there was a world where there was no servo turrets in it. And I was like, I won't live it down.
The Thanes would have
So
lynched
I had to take out a Redemptor to put in 2 servo turrets. And that was painful.
The Thanes would have lynched you.
They would have done, yeah.
You would have been disowned
I
immediately.
know, I'd have been kicked out.
It would have literally killed the business.
Is that Matt O'Reilly rocking in again?
Yeah, another 50 from Matt.
What an absolute
250 from
legend.
Matt, you can stop now. You're fucking incredible. Thank you so much, man. What a legend. Love you.
He's the BFG. Is that the big fucking gifter?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he is. Leaks, thank you for the $5. Toby, do you have a hobby house toilet use policy in place for Joe yet? If not, you should probably get that sorted.
If he attempts to use a toilet that is not on this current floor, I'm going for him with a shovel.
Joe's workplace is the top floor only.
Yeah.
So that's where he works, right?
And if he comes onto the shop floor, I'll be just walking like this close behind him. Like I know exactly how many company hero boxes.
He's gonna have. I've seen it on Clarkson's farm. Right,
yeah.
These things exist. We're gonna set it up downstairs, and it basically what happens is if he walks into the retail section of the ground floor, he gets shocked in the neck.
Yeah.
Oh no, and he can't go there anymore because it'll just fucking pick a box up and be like, no.
Well, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. And again, the problem is that you'll be looking at it and you're like, is the Space Marine section safe?
Well, exactly.
You know, I don't want to have to allocate. We're working out like stock, for example. So we're like, well, you're gonna have your master stock of, say, for example, there's 10 boxes of intercessors on site. Well, there's going to be like 2 on the shelf downstairs and 8 in the storeroom. Now, if we sell 2 downstairs, we need to allocate 2 from the storeroom, meaning there's only then 6 on site, for example. I don't want to have the third column of has Joe been pilfering the stock.
Yeah, his toilet's up here.
Yeah,
it's the one with the biggest extractor fan. So, you know, that's what will happen, Leaks. Thank you for the $5 anyway. Kaz, thank you for the $5. Screw Liam being unwell. Joe looks like he's done nothing but chunder since the last time he was on stream. Yep.
I hope that's not a reference of me looking like Joe.
That's the joke they're making. You're sat in Joe's chair.
I mean, to be fair, like, you know, no, that's not for now.
No, yeah, quite. Although they are saying you're looking slimmer, but...
I mean, I've worked really hard. I've lost 6 stone since January 2024.
Since last Monday.
Since last Monday. I've also changed my name, grown a foot in height, and you gained the ability to use 3 floors worth of toilets.
If you have Joe on the sales floor, he will get the customer to buy him Warhammer. Well,
I'd be concerned. Yeah.
At that point, if they're buying Warhammer, I'm kind of okay with it, Josh. Right? To be fair,
you know, like when you go to like a restaurant, and you can leave a tip. We can have like a Joe fund on the bar where people can just put in an extra few quid and then we go, Joe, there's your pocket money.
No.
Okay.
No. Thank you, Chris, for the 50 Swedish krona, the blue one. Welcome, Toby. One thing you can't buy in just any shop is the Great Hall battle box and gear. We have really clean store packaging made now. Let's chat. So Chris is the person who owns Tree of Tales.
I've got a Tree of Tales box, Chris. You will have shipped me one. It's very, very nice product.
Yeah.
So
Very, very nice product.
Very nice product.
Thank you, Chris. Anyway, we need to talk about not even necessarily the Great Hall Battle box at that particular point if we're stocking it downstairs, but a Hobby House version.
Oh, I like that. The Hobby House game
Battle box.
Yeah.
Hobby House gaming aids.
Game aids, yeah.
Not those kind of aids. Gareth, thank you for the $5. Really, Toby attacking me with talking Horus Heresy comment.
I love Horus Heresy. I'd love there to be more heresy on the channel.
I assume Gareth often talks about Horus Heresy.
Gareth he's a very good dude. He runs like a lot of goes to a lot of events to run intros for things like Adeptus Titanicus and Legion Imperialis. Just a really, really good dude. I'm sure he'd come and give us some demos if we wanted him to. Good
I've
top
never
bloke.
I played Titanicus maybe like twice before Legions Imperialis came out.
Yeah.
And I think I liked it. I struggled to get into it just because I didn't have the time. I thought the system was quite cool, quite
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, I'm probably one of the many people, even in chat, praying we're going to get Battlefleet Gothic as long as it's in 40k. Just don't give me Space Marine versus Space Marine Space Edition.
That's what I'm. They were talking about this in things recently, and I'm actually slightly concerned that's what they're going to do. And the reason why is because it's the safer bet in the early stages, because you essentially create a single product and you can sell it to both sides.
Yep.
So I get it, and there's got to be data behind why they do this, why they focus on the 30k narrative. I think it's a case of we don't know how well it will sell, so if we just do Marines versus Marines, it's actually really easy.
Well,
from a
it's a game
production
system that requires minimal, design and rule writing because, and again, one of the, not that we talk about balance, but Marines versus Marines is about as balanced as it comes. It's just a dice game at that point.
Yeah,
right?
well, look at Heresy. Current Heresy is incredibly balanced, but I don't hate Heresy. I love Horus Heresy. I think it's great. But for Battlefleet Gothic, I was the same for Legions Imperialis. I really wanted it when there were like epics coming back. I really wanted it to be 40k.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I think Battlefleet Gothic is probably the easiest sell because epic. Like when you think how many. You have like a couple of cruisers, a couple of light vessels, and then like your flagships. Maybe there's like 5 or 6 types of like ship in Battlefleet Gothic for each faction. Whereas if you're looking at like 40k epic, how many little different bases of aspect warriors you have? You've got your Wraith hosts, you've got your Wraith blades, you've got your avatars, you've got all your characters and things like that. So I can understand it. Obviously, 40k is a bigger setting, but 30k is an easier sell in regards to you've got maybe 4 factions if you include, your like sort of guard and your mech as well.
Yeah, if they do 40k Battlefleet Gothic, I'm in danger.
Same.
If they do 30k Battlefleet Gothic, the rules would need to be really good.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, I used to play before it disappeared off the face of the earth. Star Wars Armada, which is the pre-painted bigger flagships, and then you could paint the little ones. What a game! What a game!
I played. What was that you said?
Armada. X-Wing, did you play?
Is that Star Wars you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, the game I played was Firestorm Armada, I think.
Okay.
So it was also spaceships.
Yeah.
The company went bust, unfortunately. And you would buy these little resin ships and you had to paint them. But that as a game system was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, so Star Wars Armada, probably one of the best miniature games I've played. Because what I liked about it is you'd have to preset your turns for your bigger ships. The bigger your capital ship, obviously, the more damage it could take, the more damage it could do. But you'd have to plan 5 turns in advance to turn it and stuff.
I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's just getting me.
But this is why I really liked when I first played AT. Where I really liked AT because pushing reactors and stuff like that. I really love that kind of detail.
Yeah, same.
It feels a little bit more like an RPG, I guess, at that point, rather than. And I'm like, I've got 40k in AOS for my big scale battles. So I kind of like that sort of stuff. But Evan, thank you for the $5. Welcome, Toby. Great to have you. What got you back into the hobby during one of your breaks? Feel better, Liam. I always feel better after throwing up. I felt better after chundering. I came up here. I sat like this for 20 minutes, and I got hot, sweated, shivered a bit, got hot again, shivered a bit, and I was like, this isn't good. Cracked a can of Coke for some sugar. Right?
Of course.
I was like, I just need some sugar.
Not the water I've been telling you to drink all morning.
I've had 3 pints of water now.
Oh, good.
So,
and you're feeling better, funny that.
I wasn't. I was sat there going, oh, fucking hell. And then I was like, right, stream in 5 minutes. I need to get up and start moving about and get the TV on and what have you. I stood up. I took 3 steps forward and was like, nope, straight to the toilet. I went lightheaded, dizzy, straight to the toilet. And then was like, okay, I'm a bit better now.
There you go, everybody. That's been my morning.
But just say it, I fucking get on with it.
That's it. We crack on, you know.
Work. So yeah, what got you back into the hobby after one of your breaks?
I think the easiest one to say is when the end times came round and then they nuked Old World from orbit and my prized possession Tomb King army was put into the loft. I was very bitter with the company. I was in that group of people like, you killed my child. When I went into, I think I was with someone at the time, and there was a Games Workshop, and I saw like AOS 2.0 was in the window, and I was like, there's ghosts now. And I went into there and I looked at the Nighthaunt range, and it was obviously just a little bit after Soul Wars had come out, so the Nighthaunt actual range had been released, and I looked at it and I was like, every single model in this range is incredible. And obviously I did that thing like when you're out of the hobby, you still go on the Games Workshop website every now and again, you're like, oh, there's some nice new models, but no. And I looked at it, and then the guy came over and was like, oh, are you interested? I'm like, yeah, I used to play a lot. Like, these are wicked. He's like, do you want to have a demo game? And on this occasion, I was like, yeah, I will. Played it, loved the rules, walked out of there having spent too much money. And then from that, I think I painted, in second edition points-wise, probably about 5,000 points in Nighthaunt. Got into playing Nighthaunt competitively in Age of Sigmar 2.0. And then from there, I think this was back when you could hobby and game in Games Workshop stores before COVID. And then from there, the store that I worked in, the pool store, was doing like a New Year, New Army sort of thing. And everyone was like, from my friend group, had been playing AOS. They're like, should we all do some 40k stuff? And I was like, yeah, I can get behind that. Started Space Marines. And then I've been in since then.
I tried to get into AOS in second edition. And that's a lie. I tried to get into AOS in every edition.
First edition AOS was toilet.
It was the wild, wild west. It was mad.
You could get a reroll on your charge if you pretended you were on a horse.
Yeah, you got rules if you had bigger beards and stuff. It was. I kind of respect them a bit for trying it.
Someone was on smack.
Yeah, and I kind of respect a multi-million-pound company for going, here's some rules.
It's like, here's this really strategical movement tray-based game that everyone has loved for fucking years.
Yeah.
Move over, boys. Because this fucking car crash is coming.
There's still tiny aspects. Like, next door, I've not painted it, of course, but I've got Nagash next door.
Yeah.
Because the Hand of Dust rule is still one of my favourite things in the game.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. I've had some great times with that.
And if you're unaware what the Hand of Dust is, chat, the Hand of Dust is a magic spell that Nagash can cast. And if he correctly casts it, you take a dice, you put it in your hands, you hold your hands behind your back, and then eventually you offer your opponent the hands. If they pick the right one, they're okay. If they pick the wrong one, the model that it's cast on is just removed from play.
Yeah, and back in second and third, I think it was third edition, but definitely in second edition, there wasn't the stipulation that if it's like someone like Lord Croak or like an epic hero, they just took like 3d6 mortals. It was like, I don't care who that is, they're gone.
Yeah, I love that as a concept.
It was
but
good.
some of it was bonkers, right? I respected them for trying it. I couldn't get into it because I was like,
It was more painful because of what they had basically shat on beforehand.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't if they'd brought Age of Sigmar out and left Old World as it was, I think it would have been better received because it was easy. It was way easier for kids to pick up, and I can understand it from a business standpoint that way. It's the fact that they went, all your models and all your armies, not only are they now invalid, but if you want to use your models, you better rip them off those fucking squares and put them on circles.
Yeah, there was never going to be a nice way of transitioning from one to the other. So if they were determined that's what they were going to do, they kind of had to rip the Band-Aid off. But they're just, as usual, they're not particularly great at communicating and kind of explaining and telling people what's going on. And I think there was some feels bads there. I think it kind of gets worse when they then go multiple years, like nearly 10 years later, oh, by the way, guess what? We're bringing the system back. You know how you last year maybe finally went, it's never coming back, and you sold that army in the attic? Yeah. Well, guess what? Now you can buy all those same fucking models again from 10 years ago and play Old World.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, did you cannibalize your old army and spend a long time hacking them off those bases? Well, you can put them back on those squares.
Oh, wait, hang on. No, you're playing Dark Elves? You can't. Anyway, thank you, Evan, for the $5 religion. Thank you, Matt, for another pink one, another $50, you hero. Off to bed in the upside down land. Had to be on the stream as I was called out by Liam, not attending. And as a fan, I took offence. Joke, but hey, fella, happy to see you kicking goals. Keep it up, mate. Kicking goals is maybe not quite accurate at the moment. I'm struggling today, if I'm honest, Matt. But I was joking when I called you out. But thank you anyway. You haven't, however, gone to bed. You've lied because I've seen you continuously gifting after you've put that message in. But you're a legend, and I love you.
Big fibbing giant.
Yeah, a little bit. To confess as a fan. Yeah, kicking goals. Like, if you'd have asked me yesterday, I was pretty upbeat yesterday evening for the most part until the stream finished and I got the quote through for the flooring. And I try, it's difficult, right? Because of the job that I'm in and the way that I am. I don't want to try and bother Toby too much out of hours, especially for work-related things, because I don't think that's fair. But when I got that quote through, I instantly screenshotted it and sent it to you, because I was like, are they on fucking crack, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously just finished writing Age of Sigmar 1 rules and then thought, carpet quote.
Well, luckily, I know people that work within the industry, and I also know people that know people that work with the industry. So I sent it to a number of people, some of which are in the Thanes, and I was like, what happened at this point was I literally threw up again and was like, that can't be right.
It was obscene.
That sounds like someone's trying to fucking fleece me.
Yeah,
thankfully, all of these. So when I got the quote through, I screenshotted it, I sent it to you, and I replied to them and basically went, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
And then I was like, have I overreacted there by saying "go fuck yourself"? That might have been a bit harsh. And then all these people have come back to me like, "That is."
Even a simple Google search, you're going, "Hang on a minute, there's 50% on that, and we can just buy it direct." As someone buying it, not even at a trade price.
I'll share with you, chat, as well, right? We want to get the whole ground floor floored, obviously, and I've been looking at a product called LVT, which is a type of tiling that goes down, and it's pretty durable and pretty hard wearing and waterproof, right? And then the entrance hallway that you've seen in the videos and the stair and the foyer area, we're ripping all the carpet up and replacing it with what's called supercord. And supercord is that like tough, durable shit that you normally get at the entrances.
Yeah.
But we're putting that through the whole of the ground floor up until the actual main room, because then when people come in, you don't have to worry about wiping your feet. It kind of is a whole giant mat. It's tough, it's durable. With a lot of traffic, it won't get it won't
start
get
to wear
quickly.
down and thread. No.
And that was what we wanted. And the quote came back at nearly £17,000, right? And I wouldn't mind, but line item number 1, right, was the LVT. I don't remember the number of units, but it was priced per square metre at $32.99 per square metre for the specific type that and I looked at that and I was like, that seems expensive.
Yeah, not like a little bit expensive.
So I Googled the exact tile, brand and all, right? And I found it on the first website that popped up on Google, the very first one, right? For $19.99 inclusive of VAT. And we will be VAT registered. So we will be able to get a 20% discount on that as well, because we'll claim our VAT back, which means that the initial quote at £6,008, I've already gone, well, if I buy that myself, it's $3,000. Well, less than $3,000.
Yeah.
So why the fuck? Like, that was line 1. And I was like, you assholes.
And this version of the conversation you guys are seeing now is a tamer version of the one we had in the office this morning. Wasn't a happy bunny.
I was fucking pissed off last night. I was really pissed off because I feel like they've just tried. I feel like they've gone, oh, he runs a YouTube channel on the top floor, and
yeah.
Maybe he's just got fucking money. Maybe he's got.
I think they heard. They're going to fleece grannies. We're going to fleece him.
Yeah. When noted flooring professional Gourlay in Thanes dropped out, I've just nearly been sick. You're being fitted for a bicycle facility. Yeah, exactly. It's 17,000 for fucking floors. Unbelievable. And like I said, the fact that the first line, I found the same material for less than 50% if I bought it myself, I was like, I feel justified in telling them to shove it up their fucking arse.
That he did.
Mm-hmm. So Galahad, thank you for the yellow one, you legend. Just tuned in. 1, stranger danger. 2, I take from the new GM wave. Liam has become a lazy git and can't do 4 weeks work like us normal peasants.
But I'll be a bit this. I'm not gonna inflate the Liam work train, but put it this way: like, I wouldn't be surprised if next week I'm having to wheel him in the chair because he's just like, must keep going because he doesn't stop. And it's respectable. Like, the grind is real, but like, it needs to be done because literally until I came, if it wasn't getting done, was it? If you didn't do it, so Lots to be doing.
Yeah. Schooner, thank you for 5 gifted. You're a legend. We've done Matt as well. And Dave, thank you for 10 gifted memberships. What a hero. So Galahad then comes back with $5 and says, never a slimmer Joe, not enough forehead. Too much hair.
You get sent to America and then we all come in here and go, yeah, let's rinse the fucker. Like, Jesus Christ, everyone. Not enough forehead. I mean, I don't know if I should. I mean, my forehead looks in proportion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got quite a good
Not
set
enough
of
forehead
hair.
is because Joe's got too much forehead, though, to be fair.
Well, I don't think we should be pointing that out.
His forehead finishes like the middle of his bonds, doesn't
Sorry, Joe, if you see
Then there's like a bridge, and then the rest of his forehead carries on.
So it's like a 7 head.
It takes him every week, longer and longer for him to wash his face.
Poor Joe.
Sean, thank you for the $2. Hobby House should have custom hammerful bunker rules.
Well, maybe one of the tables might have a couple.
Hobby House will have maybe custom hammerful bunker tables.
Yeah, that's where I was going with
The
it.
best use of them, let's be honest.
It's a terrain piece if we're real, isn't it?
It's a terrain
It is
piece,
a terrain piece.
let's be
But
honest.
we could put a couple of those and some servo turrets, and we can make like a marine sort of like defense line thing on the table.
Yeah. 12 head. Are you offering, Dave? Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Matt, thank you for the $5. Says, kind of runs a more 30 Seconds of Mars emo vibe of Joe. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, if you ever heard the music I played, it's fair.
People have been asking what the band is.
I know. I don't know if I want to give that away. We've got to keep something in the closet, Leo.
Okay. That's why I didn't just tell them.
I know. You go and you can find it if you do some research. But I'm not going to say. I've got to have something. Otherwise, I won't get asked back. I've got to come on another show and I'll be like, well, maybe.
I mean, I've
this time.
employed you, mate. So
There you go.
You'll probably be back at some point.
It was a
let's be
screamy,
honest.
screamy, shouty, shouty band. That'll give you some hints. But I don't do any screamy, screamy, shouty, shouty. I play guitar. I can sing as well.
We can tell you play guitar because of the thumbnail.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. That was the one photo I could find on Google.
One photo.
I didn't look
hard.
too hard.
No. You could have gone on like Kerrang website and ripped one of their ones from articles and things on there.
Flex.
I'm doing it.
Sam, thank you for the $5. Sam says, we'll have to watch this later, but welcome, Toby. What's your favourite aspect of the hobby?
Ooh.
And do you have a favourite game system?
So, tricky one. Currently, I love the Heresy. I love Horus Heresy. I like it as a narrative setting. I think the gameplay is slightly more narratively than 40k. Always have loved 40k. As I say, big fan of Age of Sigmar. So I think my love for various aspects of the hobby in terms of the game systems is fairly equally shared. That said, like, I am hopeful that with 11th Ed there is a little bit more gauged towards us, more narrative gang than just the sort of like L-shaped competitive. You know, I don't want to be dropping anything, you know, boxes or anything. I don't want to be doing that. I just want to be playing the game. Age of Sigmar I like. Again, it's a bit more narrative in the sense, and Heresy is the most narrative game. So from that side of thing, as a narrative player, I guess I'd probably say Heresy. I love painting. I love converting. A lot of my iron hands are converted. I just think, for me, I came back to the hobby because it was a good way just to switch your brain off and do something. And I think a lot of people probably resonate with that.
My favourite aspect of the hobby is probably the one I get to do the least.
Which is actually hobby.
It's painting.
Yeah.
I prefer painting than anything else. If I know, and I haven't had this for so long, if I know I can sit for 6-7 hours at my desk at home, I honestly will put something on the TV or I'll put some music on.
And just go for
And I've
it,
just got my paintbrushes, got my wet palette, a fresh cup of tea, and I can sit there quietly, cozy, painting away. I can do that for hours if I have the time to do that.
100%.
And I've got nothing else jumbling around in my brain going, you need to do this, and you need to think about this, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do something else. Right? If I can do that, then that's my favourite part.
Yeah, I mean,
what makes me the saddest in the hobby over the course of the last year and a half is and actually it's longer than that if I'm honest, I just don't get that opportunity in the moment. And so when I posted that picture of Eldrad fucking everywhere, because I actually forced myself to sit and paint and paint and
I
paint.
bet you fucking had the best time doing it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And I want to do more of it, but...
There's going to be the hobby bar downstairs, Liam.
Well, I'm going to be on site. I'm going to have to be on site because I'm going to have to be, because we're not going to be able to afford 25 members of staff from off the bat.
You're going to pick up a brush and I'll be like, Liam, 8 orders.
So I am
back upstairs. We go.
Yeah, but it's fine. But if I can have it set up,
yeah, exactly.
So I just lid on the wet palette.
Yeah.
Go up, pack some orders, off it goes. I'll do that. I don't mind. But that's my favourite aspect. And I really miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I think my least favourite aspect, and it's a bit of a weird one to say when you say like I really like converting, and if I've got like 4 different kits and I can smash them together, I love it. But sometimes, like, I'll go through phases where I'll build loads of stuff so that I don't have to have another building session because I fucking hate model prep.
I like model prep. I like building.
Yeah.
I hate converting.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't like, nowadays, I don't like the whole, this is a £40 kit, and if I snip and get it wrong, do I fuck it?
I mean, you're talking to someone who bought Belisarius Cool because I wanted his hand.
Yeah, I see. I can't be that person. I can't.
I mean, to make my Inceptors, I had to buy, for 3 Inceptors, I had to buy a box of Heavy Intercessors, a box of Aggressors, and a box of Inceptors.
And some green stuff.
A little bit of green stuff, not a lot of green stuff. But they look great, and they're not on those stupid fucking woohoo.
And you were like,
stands.
oh, hey, it's super easy. I was like, okay, cool. And then you showed me, and I was like, there's green stuff there. I'm out.
I said I'd do it for you.
Nope. I don't like people doing things for me. It's weird, right? It's weird to say this when I have a Joe. I have a Joe out of for a number of reasons, right? He's great on camera. People love him. He's funny. But also for me, to get armies on the table for battle reports, one of the biggest reasons for having a Joe in the early stages before we knew all about Joe was it was a necessity.
Yeah, you need
because I just can't do the pace that he does, and I can't. He does an incredible like tabletop ready, and I'm too fucking picky to be able to put tabletop ready on the boards.
Yeah, and this is it. And like, there's tips and trips these days, and again, it depends on the individual. But like, I'm quietly confident in helping people get to the stage where there's a level of acceptance you have to find, like to be able to go, that's done. And I look at something and I go, could that have had more edge highlights? Yes, but do I actually want to finish some of the models that I spent a lot of money on and put a 1,500 point army on the table that's actually done to a degree?
Yeah.
And that is more rewarding than you probably realise.
I can't. I'll do it eventually, and I'll probably end up legitimately, hopefully, with a lot more hobby time downstairs.
I think
but
so.
We'll see. So ultimately, I think I'm looking for and Joe was a necessity because I was like, if I want to have one of every faction near enough, I think we don't have Gene Stealer Cults. It's probably about it. If I want to have one of every faction near enough, I need someone who's going to be a case of that's tabletop ready and it's fine.
Yeah, and
Joe does that very, very, very well. So I love him for it, but I missed the painting aspect.
Yeah,
he's also quite good at the kit bashing. He loves kit bashing Space Marines, and he just fucking glues bits together and chops bits off and glues more bits on, and eventually he makes something that looks nice. I've tried it. There's a couple of kit bashes I've done that I were very proud of, but fuck it, I don't like doing it.
It is the risk when you've got your scalpel and you're like, there's no going back from this point.
Yeah, right. But, exactly that.
When you see I'll eventually bring them in because I'm slowly in the process of moving my shed of progress into the building because it makes more sense for me to have access to some of the stuff here. The amount of Space Marine sprues that I've got just from going, I need these pieces, is disgusting.
But then what you end up with is leftover pieces that you can use in other builds.
Many.
So eventually you save some money because you go, I've just got those bits I can use.
Yeah, so when 10th Ed came around, I was building my my Lion Hands, I call them, because they play as Iron Hands, they also play as Dark Angels, because they're both my favourite factions. I didn't want to paint two Space Marine armies.
Yeah.
But I was Codex compliant, so all my sort of Inceptors or Aggressors were in units of 5, because that was Codex compliant, being a narrative player. And then they went, yeah, well, you can take 5, but you're paying points for 6. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm fucking building another one of each one, but luckily I already had the bits.
Yeah.
So, swings and roundabouts.
I just don't like confirm. I love painting, and then I think, I mean, I also really enjoy playing. But I take your point about 10th edition. Now at the start of 10th edition, I was so excited. So I was very lucky to be invited up to learn the game from GW themselves, and I was very excited. And when I got the snapshot of what 10th edition was all about, I thought, this is fucking brilliant. When we then got the game and started looking in great detail at it, and you could start to, obviously when they're giving you this whole demonstration, they're going to not show you the cracks.
Yeah,
right. They're going to tell you how fucking great this game is. And I was very hyped about it, and I felt really bad because I went and told people that this thing's great. Look out for it. It's really, really good. And then the first 6 months of it, I was like, this is a fucking hot mess.
I mean, for me, the biggest problem is that, the core rules for 10th, I don't think are bad. But where is Open War? Where's the Open War deck?
Yeah.
Where is something? And again, do you know
Where's Maelstrom?
Maelstrom. Oh, God.
Peak.
Take me back to the good days.
Yeah.
But it's that, and I think, the rule of 3 is great because you're like, cool, I love Dreadnoughts. I can take 3 Redemptors. Great. But it completely kills, again, no disrespect, Joe, but I would never take 3 units of company heroes because for me as a narrative player, I'm like, it makes no fucking sense.
What's hilarious as well is we take the piss out of Joe for going 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of that, right? Which is interesting because in AOS he doesn't do it.
No.
But
you know what? An interesting someone, I won't say who because again, I don't think it's someone of a position somewhere. Said one of the things that happened when they wrote the later editions of Age of Sigmar is they tried to make everything equally rubbish. So nothing was great.
Yeah, so
by doing that, it means that everything's viable.
Matt Rose, who is the chief rules writer for AOS, is a person I've spoken to about the game. And he was like, we lived in Age of Sigmar 3 in a world where you'd have a unit with spears and a unit with swords and a unit with scythes, for example.
Yeah.
He's like, and they were just kind of all did the same thing.
Yep.
He said, so what we ended up finding out was we would go, well, no one's taking the scythes, so we'll drop the points on the scythes. And then suddenly they're the ones only people were taking. So what happened was we had a race of just efficiency, which was the most efficient unit to use, right? He said, so what we tried to do with AOS 4 was go, well, if the unit with spears is defensive, because the cavalry charging onto spears, then the unit of swords needs to be offensive.
Yeah, 100%.
And have a different role. And we go, so now you're going to have to choose your role.
Exactly. And that plays into whether you're a castle player, whether you're a hot point player, things like that. And again, so for 40k, like, I think as much as, the rule of 3 is great in certain respects, because it lets you play with any of your toys in a level of balance, is that things like, the formations and like your sort of like take 1 HQ and 2 troops and then unlock the rest of your sort of like, army demographic. That and points for actual customizable war gear and actually building your own characters is the things I miss the most, which is something you do gain access to in Heresy.
Yeah, I miss that a lot. I missed I was looking in Heresy and in Old World actually.
Yeah, Old World's the same.
Oh, here's a guy you can take and you can make him a level 1, 2, or 3 wizard for this, and this points, and you can do this and give that. And I miss that. But I really miss, even if they don't do it for war gear in 40k, I really miss points per model. So I've got this many points left over. I take a unit of 5 Banshees. I've actually got enough points for a 6th one.
Yeah.
Just let me take a 6th one. Guess what, Games Workshop? If I could take a 6th one, you sell a second box of 5.
Yeah.
So I could buy one. Like, just let me do that. Hey.
And the other thing is, right, I don't want to come in here and the first time you guys are seeing me on stream be like, he's a bit of a negative Nancy. There's a lot of things that are good in 40k currently. There's a lot of things that are good in AOS now and a lot of things that are good in all the systems. There is no system that has been released by not only just GW, but any game system, whether it's Star Wars Legion, whether it's War Machine. Everything is going to have a flaw, which means as a human, we love to complain, right?
Yeah, but where I was going with it is ultimately I'm very much enjoying playing 10th now.
Yeah.
I liked the latest mission deck, Prime Nexus, the one before the latest, sorry. I like Chapter Approved. I think that it's in a very good place. But I also enjoy playing competitively. I really miss narrative games. And we could conceivably, and we probably should, come up with some narrative scenarios on the channel and play some games that aren't chapter approved. But I do live in that headspace. I'm like, just fucking our Games Workshop is your game. Just give me 6 missions I can potentially pick from every now and again.
It was in the rulebook for fucking 9 editions, wasn't it? Just like, here is the base game, and then you can expand upon it.
I actually think, for me, the easy win in this edition or next edition is another Maelstrom deck.
Yeah.
Take out some of the, for example, a Psyker casts a spell, because not everyone does that anymore, but put in something different. The Maelstrom deck is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's Carnage and Chaos, and it goes come away from fixed objective locations. Let us do what we did before. Play 6 objectives down at random points on the table where we used to pick something that kind of had kind of narrative reason.
Exactly.
I want to take this archway. I need to look after this statue, whatever. And then just let us draw random cards and do random shit.
It's because it boils down to the cards would help you tell a story, whereas now the missions don't.
Yeah.
You can't just try and spin it into something. And the other thing that I say, no, I promise I'll stop being a negative Nancy after this, is that I don't think
it's negative as
such.
No,
I mean, okay, so it's okay. So
it's critique.
It's a critique, yeah. So my point is, like, when I was writing my list today, now I know obviously like Liam, Joe, Tom, Paddy, especially Paddy, are all much better players than I am. So if I was to play one of them, I'm going to probably lose. Now, I don't have a problem with losing. I actually have a lot of fun just playing the game. But my point is that I was looking at my list that I might bring, and I'm thinking, I'm having to put things in here that I don't want to take because I know that I need to be able to get to these objectives, or I need to be able to counter something that can move fast. And I'm there going, that's not how I play, but the game isn't designed in a way now that lets me play my way. So I end up just going, well, I'm going to take the stuff that fits a narrative. I've written a narrative-ish list that kind of fits Iron Hands. It fits the new detachment, and it kind of works for what I'm happy with. It does a little bit of everything. None of it's particularly great, but it fits a narrative. Now, I'm now penalised as a player in the game for running my toys, because my toys aren't the good toys.
Correct.
I'm sad about that. And, you know, like... you
want to be glad Joe's not here. Was he talking about Iron Hands and saying my toys aren't the good toys? That would set him off.
Would it?
He fucking hates Iron Hands. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Why does everyone hate my toys?
He fucking hates Iron Hands. Then thank you, Matt, again for 20 more gifted memberships. I think he's actually finally gone to bed, chat. We're 5 away from 300 members.
How many?
300.
Wow. You can go be sick now. We don't have to come in there.
We're 5 away from 300. I actually, since I've sat here, I'm feeling better and better and better. My headache's nearly gone.
That's good. I mean, you're thinking...
The nausea's gone.
Yeah.
The first half hour was a fucking struggle.
I was looking at you and you were there like...
It was hard work to start with. I'm feeling all right now.
That's good.
So thank you, Matt, for 20 more gifted. I love you. You're amazing.
I mean, the thing is, if we don't do the stream today, then there's no way there can be all-time super chat / I don't know, let's say members go, and I won't have to dress up as a servo turret.
I mean,
because I'm prepared.
Don't say these things out loud.
No, you see, I ain't no fucking coward. Like, so if we hit members' goal that you've ever beaten ever, I will Blue Peter myself a fucking servo turret outfit.
Well, we're not going to do that. The members' goal ever for a single stream is 1,105.
Does anyone want to see a 6'4" man dressed in a Blue Peter style shoebox and toilet roll fucking servo turret? Is the question you got?
I want to see that.
I was going to wrap myself in tin foil. It'd be fucking great.
Last Monday they got close because they got to 953, which is insane.
Outstanding.
Stick Monkey, thank you for the $2. He says, found the band OHOH, right?
Oh yeah, he's given a bit of it away there.
Yeah. I don't think he's given enough of it away.
No, I mean, you know, you can find it with that, but as I say, I'm very, very proud of it. You know, and it was a lot of my life. You know,
I find I'm going to go off piece slightly here. I find it because you've never told me.
No,
I went and found it myself.
Because
I'm a curious panda, and when I'm about to employ someone, I want to learn things about them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's due diligence.
Yeah, of course, I understand it.
And I was like, considering the accolades and considering what you've done, if it was me, I'd probably be shouting about it a little bit. If someone asked, I wouldn't be like, oh, by the way, I did this. But if someone asked me, I'd be like, I'm going to tell you because you've asked me, and I'm actually very proud of what I did.
Yeah.
So
but you never actually said what was your band called?
No, I don't, because it's weird, isn't it? Because I'm like,
I mean, as I say, so like for me, like as I say, I'm immensely proud of it, but it doesn't define me. It's a huge part of who I am. Like music has been like, I mean, I don't want to be, especially on the stream of like being real now, but like it saved my life on multiple occasions, music, you know, it really did. Just in the same way that Warhammer helps. It was something that allowed me to express myself in ways I didn't know how to in any other respect. So the reason I'm sat here and I'm in the position I'm in now will have been partially because of the music. So I'm immensely proud of it. And I think for you to go and find it and see it, because it's very, very straightforward to find, right? And this is my thing. I was the same with my previous jobs. I never went and said, and she did the same. She went and found it. She was like, fuck me. And I'm like, yeah. But for you to find it actually says more about my character, which is like, I'm not going to sell you something. I'll let you find it. Because I try to be quite a humble person, and I think it's better that way.
I get it. But I still think, you know, it's one of those things where I'd be like, go and check it out. I'm proud of it. I don't know.
You can do. I mean, if you stream it, I get paid. So, like.
Well, fair, yeah. I do love Soups's. Oh, you're the guy from Of Hobbits or Helldrakes.
Yeah, there you go. You've nailed it.
That's the new band.
That's the new one. You know what? You've missed a trick there because it could have been Of Hobbies or Houses.
Yes, exactly. You know. Hobbies and Houses is the right way to go there. And that will be the music being played on the speaker system that's getting installed on Monday.
Yep. Getting my royalties one way or another.
Brandon, like I say, thank you for 5 gifted. You're a legend. And thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, welcome, Toby. Favourite 40k character?
Oh, probably the Lion. I mean, Canuck Var is cool because he's got a big beaty stick. I'm not calling him what everyone else calls him. I refuse.
So the Lion's your favourite beat down of Dark Angels Army?
Well, as I say, so my Space Marines are Lion Hands because they are Dark Angels, and if we were going down the whole road of my custom narrative, Not that we're going to go down that road because it's a long
Joe
road.
loves this. You save it when he's here.
Yeah, I'll save it. But essentially, long and short of it is that my homebrew narrative is that back when Gilliman put Call to work, Call had some Space Marines on Mars that he cross-spleened some Dark Angels and Iron Hands gene seed, and that's why I can kind of play with all my toys. So I've got the line, I've got Inner Circle Companions, I've got 15 Deathwing Knights. Should have brought the Dark Angels, really. I probably would have done better. But,
They are better than Iron Hands.
yeah, I mean...
But if you'd have talked about how much of an Iron Hands fan you are
And
in
then
Danes, and then bought Dark Angels, you'd have also been lynched.
I know, exactly. So I will bring my servo turrets, I will have my pants pulled down, and I will make it look like Brom is the fastest 40k player you've ever seen.
Yeah, basically, unfortunately, by being in Thanes and then coming on stream, they own you now.
I know, but the thing is, right, like, I will die on the hill that servo turrets deserve respect, God damn it. Make them battle line.
Thank you, Michael Valentine, for $20. I'm so excited for you and your whole crew with the new business. Can't wait to visit from the US in March. Keep up the good work. We should be open by then.
If we're not, I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be delayed from when I wanted it to be open, but I was incredibly ambitious, and I knew right from the start that I was incredibly ambitious. Actually, I think more is going to be done by the time I wanted to be open than Toby thought was even possible. Because
I had some faith.
Yeah, well,
I mean, when you said it's going to be this time, I went, is it?
I think most of what I'm going to be responsible for will be ready.
I would agree. I mean, I was going to say, I will take some proudness in this, that in like what's this, like day 7 of me being here, that everything apart from Floorgate and maybe Doorgate that we had to have in position to kind of have the bottom floor, which is the retail/gaming centre, we have in place.
Yeah, floor gates are a concern right now.
Yeah, but in terms of like when I started on Monday, we had no walls because you'd gone in there like a blooming 8-bound and started hacking up with absolutely no remit for health and safety with a circular saw, the walls and stuff. And we had a shell, and now we have 7 or 8 trades coming in to do some very cool things. We have tables being designed and built. We've worked out our retail shelving. So all of that for the date that you wanted is going to probably be ready. It's all the back end stuff that takes a little bit more work, isn't it?
Literally today we had 4 tradesmen in there downstairs fitting 2 fitting air conditioning, 2 prepping walls for painting. At the end, when I do next week's video, it's going to be quite different.
Yeah, it'll be white and red for a start.
Yeah, it'll be painted.
It'll look just like Southampton.
It will look clean if you don't look at the floor.
Yeah.
Sir Galahad, and by the way, thank you, Michael, for the orange one. You're amazing. Sir Galahad, thank you for the $5. He says, the important question, will there be full-on Blood Bowl tournaments at the Joe Cave? I mean, Hobby House. The correct answer is yes.
So Joe's Cave is up here. I need to make that very clear.
This is Joe's Cave, chat. I can't seem to get this through to people enough. Hobby House is a business. Liam Dempsey Media Group is a different business. Joe is employed by the latter. Toby is employed by the former. The latter has just this floor.
So the way to look at it, right, is like there's a good chance that I may turn up again next Tuesday to fill in for Joe here, and you probably see me doing some streams. Now, that's not me in my contracted hours. That's me being here because I get to play 40k with my boss and my friends, right, which is great. So in the same respect, there's a good chance that Joe might run some Age of Sigmar tournaments downstairs on the bottom floor. So there's obviously some interlapping stuff because of the nature of the community of Liam's channel. But, I don't have room for a Joe Cave downstairs because I need to fill that with product.
I've also never heard anything but good things about Blood Bowl.
Oh, great. Blood Bowl 2nd edition, wicked.
100. That is, so do you know what, right? This is completely separate as well, but relevant. My reasons for doing this business and starting Hobby House and coming up with a concept and pushing out to investors and all that kind of stuff is because of everything I've told everyone so far. And it's legitimately the main reason for it. As a byproduct, I am myself excited about the opportunity or potential opportunity to learn more game systems.
100%.
Because I want to play more Magic. I like that game. I want to learn Blood Bowl. I want to learn Necromunda specifically.
Dude, Necromunda is like Kill Team, but with narrative.
Yeah.
We can build some wicked Necromunda tables, having your gang and stuff like that. So into it.
Blood Bowl, as a football fan, an American football fan and a rugby fan, Blood Bowl sings to me. I've just never really had a group of people that play it.
Yeah.
There's a potential that downstairs is going to open up, for me alone, to meet new people who are like, well, we're really into fucking Blood Bowl. And I'm like, oh, I can play Blood Bowl. Amazing. And that's the sort of thing that I'm legitimately looking forward to, because I've heard about Blood Bowl leagues being run on, I think, Wednesday nights that places fill.
Yeah. And it is so fun because it's a game where, like, not only are you obviously playing your opponent, but the fact that there are roles for things like the ref, the pitch, the crowd, and like the weather that can all absolutely fuck the game. So it goes so fucking off kilter. It's great.
Gavito Gaming says, Magic, oh, I love a game of Commander. Commander's my favourite form of Magic. I've played a bit of a couple of other forms. I don't really understand them. But I would like to be in a place where we have something akin to, don't hold me to this, but something akin to Monday night AOS, Tuesday night 40k, Wednesday night Blood Bowl, Thursday night Heresy, Friday night Magic. Yeah. For sake of argument, right? Themed. Now, does that mean that on Thursday you cannot turn up and play a game of 40k? There's a spare table. You turn up and play what you fucking want.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what you do. It's up to you. But if we've got 40 Heresy players playing Heresy on Thursday, then you're probably not going to get a chance to play 40k, but 40k is on Tuesdays. I think if we can theme each, because Friday Night Magic's massive as well, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Friday Night Magic's massive. Blood Bowl, I've heard, has sold places out on Wednesday Blood Bowl leagues. So we should do that. That's the thing we should definitely do. And even if we do, maybe we don't do 40k in AOS. For AOS Mondays was just because I like Mortal Realms Mondays as a thing, because I like a
alliteration.
Yeah. But it might be actually that we save AOS and 40k for weekends, and we do Necromunda on Tuesdays, and we do Titanicus on Thursdays.
With like Necromunda and Kill Team is that, you know, our tables will double up. So, you know, the hobby bar has been designed specifically to be a hobby space. And I saw there was someone said earlier, you know, are we wheelchair accessible? The whole bottom floor is great for wheelchair accessible. Some of our tables have been designed specifically with that in mind as well.
So we have been busy mapping everything out. The only problem for wheelchair accessibility right now is the doors. And what I mean by that is the doors are not automated yet. And I'm waiting on a quote for automation, which I think is going to have me rocking in the corner crying, because I can't imagine it's going to be cheap. However, when you get into the ground floor, once you're finally in that ground floor, we have mapped everything out specifically so that not only can you go down there in a wheelchair comfortably, you can also 360 turn on any spot.
Yep. And there's a nice clear walkway, passageway all the way through to the retail space, which will be accessible within a wheelchair for someone who's a wheelchair user. And then the hobby bar, which is another set of two of our custom design tables, but I think Liam was saying on stream yesterday, rather than just the 2-player power sockets, it will have 4, so it will double up for hobby lamps, for like tutorials and things like that. It's also set lower, so for people who are wheelchair users or like children, there is a space that is more accessible for them to use. Though it can also double up for, like, as I said, for Magic or for like Kill Team and things like that, you can actually double over how many games can be played on that table.
And because it's going to be tall enough for children, that's why Joe has to stay upstairs.
Nonce.
I mean, yeah, you just say it.
No, that was nonce with a question mark. That wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't a statement. So to answer your question, so Galahad, in seriousness, there'll be Blood Bowl.
100%.
I can't imagine that we're going to shut the door to anything. So in the early stages, the other thing as well is in the early stages, are we going to sell Bolt Action and BattleTech? Well, in the early stages, no, because we have to think about startup capital for stock and for product. So I want to set that expectation now. However, that doesn't mean you can't come and play it at the venue, but it also doesn't mean in the future we're not going to look to stock it. What we are doing is converting the whole of the middle floor into a stock area as well. So one of the things I want to encourage people, we're going to have signage up and all sorts, is that there'll be tablets, there'll be ways, looking on the website, where you can go, they have this thing in stock. It might just be upstairs, and we will. It's like Argos. We will go and get it for you.
Hobby Argos.
We will go and get it for you, because
you could come in here, right? Order your coffee, go and chat to a friend, place your order on the tablet, and then when you're ready to leave, it'll be bagged. We'll give them your order number, and we'll go and get it out in your hobby house bag, ready to rock and roll.
Hobby house bag.
Premium experience.
Take that hobby house bag home and have a cheeky little affixy wank. Whitey, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Tempest Terrain, thank you for the $5. So happy to see your new adventure, Toby. Do you have any plans to bring the hobby house premium experience to people who live far from the store?
That's end goal, isn't it? That's part of the end game.
So in terms of people who live far from the store, there's a few things in the very early stages that we can do. You can buy product from us, right? We're looking to do, if order placed before X time, next day delivery. The hope is that the whole website-based experience, shopping-based experience, delivery of product is all quite premium. As premium as we can make it. I don't want some wonky brown parcel tape stuck on by someone who doesn't seem to know how a box works. rattling with a single box of models rattling around inside. I want that to be a nice experience.
100%.
In terms of other things that we can do for you, if you've got ideas, throw them at me, but I don't know right now. However, the intent for the business is not for this to be the only location.
So interestingly, I don't know if have you ever seen the rapid fire dice box?
No.
It's the thing. The first edition one was one that looked like your sort of like Munitorum battle container, and it holds Bison and it organises your dice into groups of 5. Like Mini Wargaming printed them for the US stuff. That's Mike. Mike runs that company.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's a very, very good dude.
Oh.
So if we ever want to sell some rapid fire dice boxes, there you go.
Well, I mean, if there's stuff that you can do for us, maybe there's stuff we can do for you. But so ultimately the onus on Hobby House's growth is, this sounds awful to say it this way, right? But I'm hoping, because of what we're trying to do, the onus on its growth is on the community. So I think if we're offering the best possible experience, the nicest possible experience, and at least reasonable to good prices, if they say build it and they will come, and if you do, and the place is turning a profit just as a physical venue, forget the online retail. If the place is turning a profit just as a physical venue, that makes it very easy for me to prove to my shareholders that it's a repeatable business model.
Yeah.
So if the place is making double what it costs to run it, it will not be hard to say, let's open a second one somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then if that one continues to do the same, it will not be difficult to say, let's open another one somewhere else.
That's it.
That's going to be quite easy. If it costs X and it's making X minus 1, but the website's covering its costs, so we're still overall profitable as a business, that becomes more difficult to...
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be a bit of a time thing, isn't it? You know, but the best way to support a hobby house, if you're from further afield, without mincing any words, is if you buy your toys from us, you're in turn helping the hobby house potentially get a hobby house near you.
Yeah. Public request for second store to be Newcastle based, a CSM standard. Well, we were. So what I've done is I sat with a map of the UK, and I didn't Google, but I kind of our rings,
Yeah.
and went towns,
Yeah.
and there's Newcastle's probably one, you know, and I basically did it so you get not quite overlap.
Yeah.
So there's catchment areas is the words I'm looking for. Catchment areas of stores. So if we've got one in Southampton, literally no point having one in Bournemouth.
Oh, definitely not.
Right? Because what's the fucking point? If we've got one in Southampton and we build one in Birmingham, probably no point having one in Coventry.
No,
you know?
exactly.
But Southampton is 2.5 hours to Birmingham. So you've got one in Southampton, you've got one in Birmingham. The circles sit kind of that far apart.
Yep. It's
right?
exactly like touring, because you wouldn't play a show in Southampton on a Monday and then go, we're going to play Bournemouth tomorrow. Absolutely no point.
And in my brain, and I'm a very ambitious thinker, but in my brain, there also comes a point where, cool, we've got 10 UK sites now. Do we need another UK site, or do we move into the US? And then Luce was like, the other night, she was like, you fucker, this is that long game to get me to move to America, isn't it? I was like, no.
Sussed.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you, so Galahad, for $5 more. Joe will wonder where Joe wanders. Joe will need to find Joe to keep him from taking over in different corners. Joe will have a shock collar. We told you this already. Right?
And I'm going to have a shovel.
It might be that it just goes off when he enters the ground floor.
Yeah, 'cause then at least when he's coming to work, you're like, oh!
Yeah. Over that, I'd have to have one of those retractable leads that you get for the little yippy dogs.
Why are we getting a dog pram?
So as he runs down the stairs, I'm joking, he's not running anywhere. As he goes down the stairs and runs around the corner to go in the shop, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm concerned.
It'll be fine. Thank you, Tank, for $2. I will help run a Blood Bowl tournament. You're a legend. I will accept that help because I don't know Blood Bowl. And then thank you, Bainesum, for the yellow one. In regards to narrative Warhammer maps, GW put them all in White Dwarf magazine this edition, probably to offer something for the few people left buying magazines. I'm glad they're bringing them out. I don't want them in White Dwarf. They should be in the rulebook or
just a card deck
or an extended pack. Yeah, right. I think for most people, people are going to call me mad because this is taking more of people's money. But if they said, you know what, the rule book isn't 30 quid, the rule book's 15 quid, right? But then you can buy the competitive supplement that's 15 quid, and then you can buy the next, that's the lighting people, and then you can buy the narrative supplement for another 15 quid. Well, actually, net, you've now spent 45 quid.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would have all three.
Yeah, I mean, and more ways to play is never going to be seen as a negative.
No.
Look at the content.
But what they've done by making them separate purchases is also an option to buy all three.
Exactly. You don't have if you're someone who goes, I am literally just looking for my ITC points. I need this book, and I need my MDF terrain, and I need 3 of everything that's good. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that if that's how you want to play. But don't penalise those of us who go, I'm only taking 1 captain. I'd do better if I took 3, but my narrative makes no sense for me to take more than that.
Gearhead James says, we have a massive void of decent stores in Reading that do tabletop gaming. We have a cracking board game shop, but it doesn't do wargaming to even an acceptable standard. To go from Reading to here is about 45 minutes. I know
It'd be worth the trip.
I know that because I did my phase 2 training on aircraft in Reading, in Arborfield. So it's about 45 minutes to get here. Is that, and this is just a genuine question, is that a distance you'd be worth or willing to travel for a decent wargaming store?
Yeah, it's actually, that's a really good point because, we're trying to not just offer as I say, especially early on, whilst, I'd imagine a lot of it will be me, get some terrain and some decent, more extravagant, like more premium tables, because I want to be able to offer your more Warhammer World-esque battle tables that you could hire, and then your more sort of standard ones. But to come somewhere and go, at least I know I'm not turning up with just a battle mat and some plain MDF L shapes, because you spend thousands of pounds on building and painting an army, and then to go and put it on a table with some MDF push out, to me is that's not the experience I want to have. And it's not the experience you're ever sold when you're looking as a kid in Codexes or in White Dwarf.
No, I agree. And this is what I said last night. I've spent loads of time compared to my army. I've spent loads of time painting my army, and I'm going to put it on some L-shape MDF.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. When we were kids, you were probably the same. When I was playing as a 13-year-old, my terrain was the carpet with VHSs as buildings. And now as an adult, I want to play and go. I look at the dioramas of Warhammer World or their feature tables, and I'm like, I would pay good money to get to play on that because I've already spent way more than what I'm paying to rent this table on my actual army because this is my hobby, this is my passion project.
Yeah. Interesting chat coming back saying 45 minutes is fine. Some people are in America, so I know that distance is
probably
skewed
a bit more than 45
slightly
minutes
in the US.
America, isn't it?
Distance is skewed in the US. 45 minutes in the US seems like nothing.
No, exactly.
People
because
travel
America's
2 hours.
gigantor big.
45 minutes is close to the limit I would travel. See, that's why. So in my head, in my brain, I was like 30 minutes or less. Guaranteed people will travel that far.
Yeah.
Right? I was going 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Majority of people would probably travel.
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, some people would travel.
Yeah.
Over an hour, most would say no.
No, and it's going to depend at that point. When you get into those later sort of brackets, it's down to, well, hang on a minute, I might go an hour if I know that I'm going to go for basically 10 hours on a Saturday. I'm going to get a couple of really good 40k games in or something like that. And when I'm not playing, there's people to talk to. There's a nice sofa or whatever to sit on. I could do a bit of hobby, and it's a day out, right?
I drive in a day 3 hours there and back to go to Warhammer World.
Yeah.
It's obviously I know it's different. I'm not comparing us to Warhammer World, but to meet somewhere where they've got nice tables to play on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get the bonus of the exhibition, and Bugman's does hot food and stuff. But I do that. I would drive 3 hours to there. So I would drive I used to drive an hour to go to Factorum, an hour away. And if it was an hour and 15, I'd be going, I know it sounds petty, I'd be going, that's just a bit further, right? But an hour is my limit. And I'm aware not everyone's like me.
Yeah.
We went to, we've been and seen Entoyment, we've been and seen some other places as well. I've been and seen Element, obviously. I've been and seen another place in London, which name escapes me right now. I've been to Bad Moon Cafe is another place I've been to. I've been to all these places to go, what are they doing? What do I like? What don't I like? All that kind of stuff. I drove to Entoyment, and from me, it's 50 minutes. I think that's a reasonable journey. I'd do that that's to put it into perspective. If I was playing a GT at Entoyment, for example, from where I live, I wouldn't book a hotel.
No,
I'd come home each night, which means that's fine, right? I'm okay with that. However, if Entoyment was say an hour and a half away, I'd probably think about a hotel or just not buying a ticket. If I'm honest, that's just me.
Of course,
hey, right. I know myself. I'm relying on trains. It depends on pricing. Well, to be fair, Josh, South Western Railway is supposed to be coming back under government control, so it's possible that the fares will start coming down. But I don't know. Anyway, I think that's everything. I also saw, Josh, you've asked it 2 or 3 times if we're going to be selling. I did see the tags. We're going to be selling Horus Heresy, Forge World. I don't know if we're allowed to. I don't know how that works. If we're allowed to, we probably will start off on a order system whereby, what's the word I'm looking for?
So basically, you can order it via us, and it's probably the same price it is on Forge World, because that's how a lot of the sort of made to order or like the direct GW product works. The only difference is like, for example, I think Element do it where you can buy, and it's the same price as it would be on GW's website, but you have to wait for us to get it and then we send it to you because we won't have it on site, but you still like get your reward system or your loyalty
you get
points.
your points, and if you're bundling other stuff in with that, then you get the discount on that as well.
Exactly.
So, I don't know if you can sell Forge World though. I'm not sure if that's allowed.
I don't necessarily think you can, but I also know that I think the aim is essentially to eventually get to where everything's plastic, which technically then removes. I mean, Forge World is now not even a branch, is it? It's just the name of the resin side.
Yeah, if I can sell the resin and people want to buy it, then. But I don't think that's a thing I ever hold stock of on the shelf.
No, it's not. But if someone wants to buy a Forge World, like a Warlord Titan from us, I'll drive to Nottingham, get it, bring it back, and post it to you.
Fucking right. Right, I think that's everything. Is there anything you want to say before we say goodbye to these wonderful human beings?
I'm stoked to be here. Like I say, I've been a part of the sort of like Great Hall community for a little while. I've followed Liam from back in like the DZ days and things like that. So like to have come in and be behind the looking glass, it's great. I'm stoked to be here. I'm really, really encouraged by what we've done so far. It's going to be an incredible space. It's going to be worth making a visit, and I think hopefully this is the start of the hobby house journey, because I think there is a gap in the market for what we want to build. And it's, everyone will say whenever they're doing something like this isn't like your normal hobby shop. But honestly, when you look at the lengths that even before I started, the team have gone to make sure that this isn't just L-shaped terrains in Granny's cupboard with boxes floor to ceiling in different orders. Like, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be really special.
Not even me saying it this time.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, he is paying me to say it.
Yeah, his job now depends on it, but that's
it. No, I'm stoked to be here and to say, I'm more than happy to jump on streams every now and again. And if you want to see some, I think, if you watch me and Brom play, you probably need to assign the whole day.
To be honest with you, and this isn't a arse kiss, this is just a genuine statement. Before the interview happened, and the job was offered to you, I'd already talked to you about bringing you on stream.
Yeah.
Because it's just nice to meet. When I think about Joe and Paddy and Tom, it's just nice to meet people that fit our vibe.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I get
Peachy said this thing ages ago, and I stole the phrase, and I always like to attribute it to people that come up with it in the first instance. It's not my phrase, but he says your vibe attracts your tribe. And so the likelihood is we were going to invite you on stream anyway, because I think you fit the Great Hall fine, or fit it well. But I think it's even more exciting because we get you to run downstairs as well. At the same time.
It's good, and the good thing is, right, and there's nothing better than people will get to watch me lose and be like, I can go to Hobby House and I can tell him that I don't know how to play, and I can beat him because it's quite easy.
We've sort of hit goals today, Tony. It's weird. What I'm thinking, Tony, is if we Tony's there.
I'm
calling you.
I get triggered by people calling me Tony.
I know.
Nothing wrong with you though, Tony Winnick.
But we've sort of hit goals. It'd be really I'm not doing any streaming on Thursday, so if we can just hit 500 today, that's great.
I mean, there is we'll see where we're at later, because there is the possibility that I might lower my target for making a Blue Peter style servo turret.
The idea of you dressing up as a Blue Peter style servo turret has got me intrigued.
I'm talking like tin foiling my arms. I will melt, but the servo turret will be respected.
Yeah, I don't know if it will be as funny as the pickle, but
I mean, it's going to require a lot more effort. You bought Joe his outfit. I did go and make mine.
But I tell you what, there was moments at the end there where I don't know if I've laughed so hard in a very
Honestly,
long time.
I watched the stream and I was laughing.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing, because I was in the day that the stream was happening in the evening, and I remember him unpacking it and being like, and sort of looking at it and going,
I was like, it's not going to. And when he first squeezed himself into it, I was like, well, you've proven you can put it on.
Before he cut the hole.
And
he was just like, I might die.
Yeah. Tony, thank you for the poo. Thank you guys also for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for everybody who super chatted and asked questions and welcomed Toby.
Yeah, it's been appreciated, very much so.
It's a big gamble for him, I'll be honest.
I was in a much safer position before.
It's a big gamble for him, and I think it speaks volumes as to how much he believes in the project, having taken a peek behind the curtain at what we're doing, that he was prepared to leave what was a stable job to take the gamble on this one, because there's every chance this fails in 2 years and we're all out of work.
I am holding you responsible, chat, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
I end up homeless. Come back to the stream and remember.
So he has taken a huge gamble. So you lot being so welcoming and so lovely is amazing. And if you can just treat him like one of our own anyway, that would be insane and would be very much appreciated. Much like your support today. Big shout out to everybody who's turned up. Big shout out to Matt for 270 gifted on his own.
Outrageous.
Because that's
outrageous.
mental.
I've done the whole stream without having to go for a wee as well.
I know, I've noticed. Yeah, well done, not Joe.
I know.
Thank you for all the likes. We're on to 175 likes. Thank you for the super chats. That's also amazing. And just thank you for hanging out. Now, we have got Toby back again in a few hours at 7:30, just over 4 hours.
Yeah, fucking make sure you clear your fucking calendars.
He'll return. Look, right, I was in at 10 to 8 this morning.
Look, I'm in at the same time as you tomorrow. So like, we're just gonna roll the dice.
If you take so long on your first turn, I've got to table you in 2 turns. That's fine. We'll do that.
It won't, Liam. You can probably table me before I deploy.
I'm going to bring Emperor's Children because you're bringing Iron Hands.
That's because I told you to. Behind the curtain, he'd have let you believe that. It's not all it seems.
Thank you so much, you wonderful humans. Hopefully we'll see you tonight at 7:30 for a live game of Warhammer 40k. We're then back again tomorrow at 7:30 for the Warhammer show in the evening. And then on Thursday, Luce and I have our first date night without children for basically a year, which I'm very excited by, which is why these gifters are genuinely very much appreciated. Hopefully we'll see you tonight for that show. If not, maybe tomorrow. If not, then we'll see you in the next one. Where's the end button? There.
I need to wait.